It's Sunday at 4:30. The kettle's been on twice already. The radio's playing something you're not really listening to. And there it is again, that quiet thought creeping in around the edges of the afternoon. Is it really worth cooking a proper dinner just for one? I'm going to tell you something your mum would have said. Yes, it absolutely is. These 25 Sunday dinners cost between 80p and £2.40 per plate. They use one pan. They land on the table in 15 minutes flat. No fancy ingredients. No standing at the stove for an hour with aching knees. No sad leftovers going green in the fridge by Wednesday. Number 19 is the dinner my own gran made every Sunday after my granddad passed. It costs 90p and tastes like 1962. And number 6 uses a tin most seniors already have sitting in the cupboard right now, but never think to turn into a proper Sunday meal. Before we start, hit subscribe because these dinners might just change how Sunday feels in your house. Let's count down. Number 25. Single portion sausage and mash with onion gravy. There's a sound a sausage makes when it hits a warm pan. A small hiss, then the smell. Butter, pork, something honest. That sound alone is worth cooking for. 2 good sausages from the butcher's counter, not the cheapest pack. 1 small potato, peeled and chopped small so it boils in 8 minutes. Half an onion sliced thin, browned in the sausage fat while the spuds cook. A spoonful of gravy granules. A splash from the kettle, stir until it thickens. Cost? About £1.10. Time? 12 minutes if you're moving slowly, which you should be. Your mum made this on a Tuesday because Sunday was for the joint. But living alone changes the rules. Sunday is for what comforts you, not what tradition demands. And nothing comforts like a banger in proper onion gravy. Number 24. Tin salmon fish cakes with peas. 1 tin of pink salmon, drained. 1 leftover boiled potato from yesterday, or 1 small spud microwaved in its skin for 4 minutes. Mash them together with a pinch of salt, a turn of pepper, and a small spoon of flour to bind. Shape into 2 patties. Fry in a knob of butter until golden on each side. Frozen peas alongside, cooked in the kettle water. Done. Cost? About £1.20. Time? 11 minutes. This was the post-war Sunday dinner when the joint had stretched as far as it could go. Tinned salmon was a treat then, a Sunday luxury. It still is. Most people have forgotten how good a proper fish cake tastes when you make it yourself, instead of buying frozen ones full of breadcrumbs and air. Number 23. Cheese on toast. The proper way. Stop. Before you skip past this one, listen. Cheese on toast as a Sunday dinner sounds like giving up. Done properly, it isn't. Done properly, it's a meal. 2 slices of thick white bread toasted on one side only. Good cheddar grated thick, mixed with a teaspoon of Worcestershire sauce and a splash of milk to make a paste. Spread on the untoasted side. Under the grill until bubbling and dark gold at the edges. A grilled tomato on the side, halved and seasoned. A small handful of watercress if you've got it. Cost? About 90p. Time? 8 minutes. This isn't a snack. This is what your dad made on Sunday nights when your mum was at her sister's. He sat at the kitchen table with the paper and ate it slowly. That's the meal, not the food. The slowness. Number 22. 1 pan chicken thigh with potatoes and carrots. A single chicken thigh, bone in, skin on. 1 small potato chopped into wedges. 1 carrot sliced into coins. Everything tossed in a roasting tin with a glug of oil, salt, pepper, a pinch of dried thyme. Here's the trick. Preheat the oven hot, gas mark 7. 15 minutes is enough if the potato pieces are small. Check the chicken juices run clear and you're done. Cost? About £1.40. Time? 15 minutes plus the few it takes to chop. This is a Sunday roast scaled down to 1 person without losing any of the dignity. You set the table, you pour a glass of something, you eat off a proper plate, not on your lap. The portion is small, but the meaning is the same. Number 21. Egg and chips with a slice of fried bread. Frozen oven chips, the proper thick cut ones, not the skinny things. Spread on a tray, 10 minutes in a hot oven. 2 eggs fried in butter in the last 3 minutes. 1 slice of white bread fried in the same pan, soaking up everything left behind. Cost? 80p. Time? 12 minutes. This was Friday night supper for generations of British families, when the wage packet was thin and Sunday's joint was still 2 days away. Now it's a Sunday dinner that asks nothing of you. No skill, no shopping list, no cleanup beyond 1 pan and 1 tray. Sometimes that's exactly what Sunday needs. Number 20. Liver and onions for 1. I know. Half of you just pulled a face. Hear me out. 1 slice of lamb's liver from the butcher, about 3 ounces, Costs roughly 70 pence. Dust it in seasoned flour. 1 onion sliced and fried slow in butter until soft and sweet. Takes about 6 minutes. Push the onions to the side. Lay the liver in the hot pan for 90 seconds each side. No longer. Liver overcooked is liver ruined. Liver done properly is silk. Mashed potato underneath, gravy poured over. Cost? About £1. Time? 14 minutes. Doctors used to prescribe liver for tired women in the 1950s because it's packed with iron and B vitamins. Your gran ate it because it was cheap and her mother taught her how. Both reasons still stand. Number 19. Corned beef hash. Here's the one I told you about. The one my gran made every Sunday after my granddad died in '78. She made it because she couldn't face the empty chair across a proper roast, but she still wanted Sunday to feel like Sunday. So she made hash. 1 tin of corned beef, opened with the little key, chopped rough. 1 boiled potato from the night before, diced. Half an onion. Everything pressed into a hot frying pan with a knob of dripping or butter. Left alone for 4 minutes until the bottom goes dark and crusty. Flipped in pieces, not whole. A fried egg on top. Cost? 90 pence. Time? 10 minutes. She ate it at the kitchen table with the radio on. She said the crust on the bottom was the whole point. She was right. Number 18. Welsh rarebit with a poached egg. This isn't cheese on toast. Don't let anyone tell you it is. Grated mature cheddar, 2 heaped tablespoons, a teaspoon of English mustard, a splash of brown ale or milk, a shake of Worcestershire sauce. Melted gently in a small pan until it's a thick, savoury cream. Spread on toasted bread, grilled until blistered. 1 poached egg on top, the yolk soft enough to break across the cheese. Cost? £1. Time? 9 minutes. This was a Sunday tea in Welsh mining villages for over 100 years. A meal that filled the belly when meat was for high days only. Today it tastes like something a fancy pub would charge you 12 quid for. You're making it for £1. Number 17. Sardines on toast with lemon and black pepper. A tin of sardines in olive oil, 2 slices of granary toast. The sardines laid out whole, oil and all, mashed lightly with a fork. A squeeze of lemon, plenty of black pepper, a few leaves of parsley if you've got a pot on the windowsill. Cost? 80 pence. Time? 5 minutes. This was wartime Sunday supper when fresh fish was a fantasy. The Ministry of Food pushed tinned sardines hard between 1941 and 1945 because they were cheap protein that didn't need a fridge. They're still cheap. They're still good for you. And 5 minutes is 5 minutes. Number 16. Bubble and squeak with a fried egg. Leftover mashed potato, leftover cabbage or sprouts, mixed together in a bowl, seasoned hard with salt and pepper, pressed into a hot pan with butter, left absolutely alone for 5 minutes until the bottom turns mahogany, turned in pieces, a fried egg slid on top. Cost? 60 pence if you're using genuine leftovers, £1.20 if you're cooking the potatoes fresh. Time? 8 minutes from the leftovers, 15 from scratch. The name comes from the sound the cabbage makes in the pan, bubbling and squeaking against the potato. Every Monday morning across Britain, this is what happened to Sunday's roast remains. The fact that we've stopped making it is one of the small tragedies of modern cooking. Pattern break. Let me stop the countdown for a moment. If you're watching this and you've nodded along once or twice, you already know what I'm about to say. Cooking for one isn't really about the cooking, it's about the day. Sunday is the day that hits hardest when you live alone. The phones go quiet, the neighbours are with their families. The afternoon stretches long. Age UK has published research showing that nearly 1.5 million older people in Britain say they go a month at a time without proper conversation. Sunday is when that gap is felt most. These dinners aren't just thrifty meals. They're a small refusal. A refusal to let Sunday slide past unmarked. You're laying a table. You're cooking something with your own hands. You're sitting down to eat it properly. That matters more than the food itself. Right. Back to the countdown. Number 15. Tinned mackerel with mashed potato and beetroot. A tin of mackerel fillets in tomato sauce, warmed gently in the pan, sauce and all. A single portion of mash made from 1 floury potato. A few slices of pickled beetroot from the jar at the back of the cupboard. Cost? £1. Time? 12 minutes. The contrast is the point. The richness of the mackerel, the softness of the mash, the sharp vinegar bite of the beetroot. This was a Yorkshire Sunday tea for generations of mill workers who couldn't afford fresh fish but knew exactly how to make a tin sing. Number 14. Spam fritters with mushy peas. I won't apologise for this one. 2 thick slices of spam from the tin, a simple batter, 1 egg, 2 tablespoons of self-raising flour, a splash of milk, salt, pepper. Dip the spam, fry in shallow oil until the batter is golden and puffed. A tin of mushy peas warmed in a small pan with a knob of butter. Cost? £1.20. Time? 10 minutes. Spam fritters were on every chip shop menu in the north of England, right up until the 1980s. They're still served in some. The batter does something to the meat that nothing else does. Crispy outside, salty, soft inside. Mushy peas thick enough to stand a spoon in. Sunday dinner doesn't have to be posh to be proper. Number 13. Kippers on toast. A boil-in-the-bag kipper, 6 minutes in simmering water, slid onto a plate. A square of cold butter melting across the top. 2 slices of buttered toast on the side. A wedge of lemon. Cost? £1.30. Time? 7 minutes. Kippers were a Sunday breakfast in the north and a Sunday supper in the south. They're one of the cheapest sources of oil-rich fish you can buy in Britain, and most supermarkets still sell them in those plastic bags for under £1.50. The smell brings memories back faster than any photograph. Number 12. Chicken liver pâté on toast with a side salad. A small tub of supermarket chicken liver pâté, 2 slices of toasted bread, a handful of mixed leaves dressed with a splash of vinegar and a drizzle of olive oil, a few cornichons or pickled onions from the jar. Cost? £1.50. Time? 4 minutes. This is the Sunday dinner for the day you've got no energy at all. The arthritis is bad, the weather's worse, and the idea of standing over a hob is impossible. But you can still toast bread, you can still spread pâté, you can still sit at a properly set table with a glass of something and feel like you've eaten a real meal. Because you have. Number 10. 1 mug shepherd's pie. This sounds like a gimmick. It isn't. Half a tin of minced beef in gravy, the kind that costs about 90p in any supermarket, spooned into a deep mug, topped with a generous layer of instant mashed potato made up with hot water and butter, a pinch of grated cheese on top. Microwave for 3 minutes on full power. Cost? 80p. Time? 6 minutes from start to spoon. I know your mother would have wept at the idea of instant mash, but your mother also had 3 children to cook for, not just herself. The principle of shepherd's pie is the principle. Meat under, potato over, eaten hot from something deep. The mug is just a smaller version of the dish. Number 9. Toad in the hole for 1, using a ramekin. 1 large sausage, browned briefly in a small oven-proof dish. Batter made from 1 egg, 2 heaped tablespoons of plain flour, 4 tablespoons of milk, a pinch of salt. Poured around the sausage in the hot dish. Straight into a very hot oven, gas mark 8, for 12 to 14 minutes until risen and golden. Cost? £1. Time? 15 minutes exactly. The batter has to rise. The oven has to be properly hot. The dish has to go in hot. Get those 3 things right, and you've got a proper individual toad in the hole that puts the pub version to shame. Number 8. Smoked haddock with poached egg and buttered bread. A small piece of natural smoked haddock, the pale yellow kind, not the bright orange dyed sort. Poached gently in a pan of milk for 6 minutes, lifted out onto a warm plate. 1 egg poached in a separate pan of simmering water, slid on top. 2 slices of thick white bread, buttered properly. Cost? £1.80. Time? 10 minutes. This was a Scottish Sunday breakfast that became a Sunday supper across the British Isles. The poaching milk, by the way, can be saved and used as the base for tomorrow's fish chowder if you want to be clever, or poured away. Cooking for 1 means making the rules yourself. Number 7. Black pudding with apple and mashed swede. 3 slices of good black pudding, the berry kind if you can find it, fried in a dry pan for 2 minutes each side. 1 small apple, peeled, cored, sliced, softened in butter in the same pan. A small portion of mashed swede, boiled and crushed with butter and pepper. Cost? £1.20. Time? 14 minutes. The sweetness of the apple cuts through the richness of the pudding. The earthy bitterness of the swede grounds the whole plate. This is Northern English Sunday cooking at its most underrated, and it costs less than a sandwich from a petrol station. Number 6. Tin steak pie with mash and frozen peas. Here's the cupboard tin I promised you. A tin of steak pie. Not steak and kidney, just plain steak. They sit on the shelf in every supermarket in Britain for about £2. Empty the tin into a small oven-proof dish. Top with a sheet of ready-rolled puff pastry, trimmed to fit, brushed with a beaten egg yolk. 12 minutes in a hot oven while you boil a potato for mash and put on a small pan of frozen peas. Cost? £2.20. Time? 15 minutes. This is closest thing to a Sunday pie that doesn't require a full day of pastry making, gravy making, and washing up. The tin contains real meat in real gravy. The pastry on top makes it a proper pie. The mash and peas make it a proper plate. Nobody would ever know. Pattern break. Hold on a moment. Modern cooking shows would have you believe that nothing in this video qualifies as real cooking. No air fryer, no food processor, no mention of miso or harissa, no 23-step method involving a sous vide bag. Good. Your grandmother fed a family of 6 on a single gas ring, a small oven, one decent pan, a wooden spoon, and a sharp knife. That's it. The rest of the kitchen gadgets crammed into modern cupboards are mostly used twice and forgotten. None of these dinners need anything you don't already own. Cheap doesn't mean lesser. Fast doesn't mean lazy. A meal made in 15 minutes with one pan, eaten slowly at a properly laid table, has more dignity in it than a 45-minute recipe eaten in front of the telly with a fork straight out of the dish. Now then, the final 5. Number 5. Lamb's liver with bacon and onions. 1 slice of lamb's liver, dusted in seasoned flour. 2 rashers of streaky bacon. 1 onion sliced thin. Fry the bacon first in a dry pan until the fat renders out. Lift it out. Soften the onions in the bacon fat for 5 minutes. Push to the side. Liver into the hot pan for 90 seconds each side. Bacon back into warm. Everything onto the plate, with a spoon of bacon onion fat poured over. Cost? £1.40. Time? 12 minutes. This was a Friday night dinner in working-class British homes for 200 years. It's been demoted out of fashion entirely. Bring it back. Your blood will thank you. Your tongue will thank you. Number 4. Pork chop with applesauce and mash. 1 pork chop from the butcher, the bone-in kind, seasoned with salt, pepper, and a pinch of dried sage. Fried in a hot pan with a touch of oil for 3 minutes each side, then lid on and the heat down for another 4. A spoonful of applesauce from the jar, a small portion of mash, a spoon of mustard on the side of the plate. Cost? £2. Time? 15 minutes. This is a Sunday dinner reduced to its essence. 1 good piece of meat cooked properly, 1 sharp, sweet accompaniment, 1 bowl of comfort. There's nothing to improve. Anyone who tries is making it worse. Number 3. Cottage pie for 1, single ramekin method. 1/4 pound of beef mince, browned in a small pan with half a chopped onion. A spoon of tomato puree, a splash of Worcestershire sauce, a small splash of water, a pinch of dried thyme. Simmered for 5 minutes until thick. Spooned into a single ramekin. Topped with mashed potato, fluffed with a fork, dotted with butter. Under a hot grill for 4 minutes until the top is browned. Cost? £1.40. Time? 15 minutes. The ramekin is the secret. It looks deliberate. It looks like a meal somebody made with care. Because you did. Number 2. Roast chicken leg with stuffing and gravy, tray bake method. 1 whole chicken leg, the thigh and drumstick attached. Seasoned with salt, pepper, and a tiny squeeze of lemon. Onto a small roasting tray. Around it, 1 small potato cut into quarters, 1 parsnip cut into battens, a handful of frozen sprouts thrown in for the last 5 minutes. Gas mark 7, 15 minutes, and the chicken should be just done if the leg is on the smaller side. A spoonful of sage and onion stuffing from a packet made up with hot water on the side. Gravy from granules. Cost? £1.70. Time? 15 minutes plus chopping. This is your Sunday roast. Not a compromise version. The real thing, scaled to 1. There's no part of a proper roast missing from this plate. Not one. Number 1. The proper mini Sunday roast. This is the dinner I want you to make next Sunday. The one that proves everything I've said in this video. 1 chicken thigh, bone in.
Skin on, scored twice across the skin with a sharp knife and seasoned with salt and pepper. 1 medium potato, peeled and cut into 6 chunks. Parboiled for 4 minutes while the oven heats to gas mark 8. Then everything onto a small roasting tin. The potato chunks tossed in a spoonful of hot oil or beef dripping.
Around the chicken, half a carrot in coins and a small handful of frozen peas tucked in for the last 3 minutes. 15 minutes in the hot oven. While it cooks, gravy made from granules in a small jug, with a teaspoon of the chicken fat from the tin stirred in at the end for proper flavour. Cost? £1.90. Time? 15 minutes once the oven is hot. You lay the table. You put a cloth on it if you've got one. You pour yourself a glass of something, whatever you fancy, a small sherry, a glass of squash, a cup of tea. It doesn't matter. You sit down. You eat slowly. You taste each thing. The crisp skin, the soft potato, the sweet carrot, the gravy soaking into everything. This is a Sunday roast. It cost under £2. It took 15 minutes. And it's yours. So there it is. 25 Sunday dinners, every one of them British, every one of them under £3, every one of them on the table in 15 minutes flat. None of them require skill you don't already have. None of them require a kitchen you don't already own. Sunday doesn't have to be the hardest day of the week. It can be the day you cook something with your own hands and eat it at a properly laid table, even if the table is set for one. Especially if the table is set for one. Here's my challenge. Pick 3 of these dinners. Make one this Sunday, one the Sunday after, and one the Sunday after that. 3 weeks. That's all I'm asking. Then come back and tell me whether Sunday feels a little different. I want to know which dinner your mum made best. Tell me in the comments. Was it the corned beef hash, the liver and onions, the Welsh rarebit with the mustard mixed properly into the cheese? I want to know if anyone else's gran made spam fritters on a Sunday night and called it tea. I want to know which one of these brought a memory back the moment I described it. Because Sunday dinner was never really about the food. It was about somebody bothering, somebody laying a table, lighting the ring, putting butter in the pan, somebody saying out loud, without saying it, that today matters. You can still be that somebody, even when the table is set for one, especially then. Subscribe if any of this rang true, and go and have a proper Sunday.